Trevor Nisbett's hanging up the boots.
Eventually. Every sports journalist went into a tiz on Wednesday after the Eagles called a press conference about the CEO leaving the club. And the CEO is leaving in October 2024, which is when his contract expires.
The timing for me is that we do need to start to look for someone. I certainly was not going to renew my contract.
No chance of it happening earlier?
No.
Did you give any thought to leaving immediately?
No.
I'm not leaving!
Why would we be surprised by that? This guy just can't let go.
What are you waiting for?
You know how disinfectants killed 99.9% of germs? Trevor Nisbett's the 0.1. He's a survivor. Every time we thought he was dead, he came back. He's the White Walker of Australian sports. Been the boss for 25 years.
A lot of career highlights to remember.
Which premiership was the most satisfying? Which near miss the most gut-wrenching? Which outrageously high annual profit bolstered by high membership fees was the most gratifying?
Which scandal was the most memorable?
So darn many to choose from. This guy ran a club where the players did everything short of rooting Aussie the Eagle.
Aussie looks like she's enjoying herself.
For brevity's sake, we'll limit the conversation to drugs. Was it Nick Stone's positive test for speed? Ben Cousins and Michael Gardner being investigated by police after wiretapping caught them phoning a dealer for cocaine? Or Gardner socialising with drug dealer Peter Britton, the relationship that led Trev to issue a warning that his players should probably avoid socialising with criminals, which they ignored. What moment would Nizzy find more unforgettable? Ken Judge and Gardner getting done by booze buses, or Cousins jumping in the Swan River to avoid one? Which frame newspaper articles documenting Daniel Kerr's many transgressions of the Misuse of Drugs Act 1981 will Trevor deem worthy of his pool room? Passing a fake prescription for Valium, or getting caught up in a drug dealing scandal with convicted criminal Shane Waters?
This is going straight to the pool room.
Where does Chad Fletcher's near-death experience in Las Vegas during an end-of-season trip rank in the pantheon of management achievements?
He still didn't want to admit there was a drug problem.
Despite the fact half of Perth was selling drugs to his players and the other half was taking drugs with them. Which official club investigation will Trevor find the most memorable? Was it the one by former WA Premier Hendy Cowan, which concluded that in the 6 years to 2007, 13 Eagles were involved in 35 often illegal incidents? Or was it the earlier one by former Supreme Court Judge William Gillard, which was so explosive, Eagles management buried it deep so nobody would ever find it? And how did Trevor feel 10 years later when the Herald Sun did?
What's next for Niz, do you reckon?
Either reality TV or career consultant to Richard Goyder, who needs some advice about how to weather a scandal, because it's not just baggage that Qantas is losing at the moment. The Goyder-chaired Red Roo has lost its High Court appeal over its illegal sacking of 1,700 ground workers during the pandemic. The Transport Workers Union suspected the mass firing was more about stopping industrial action when a new enterprise agreement was negotiated, and they lawyered up.
They want a war? They got a war.
The federal court agreed with the union, but Qantas wouldn't accept the decision and went to the highest court in the land.
Let's dig it up.
And that court handed down a clear message.
Tell him he's dreaming.
At this rate, the chairman might have to say goodbye to seat 1A.
Qantas's never-ending PR calamity has trashed the reputation of what was one of our most trusted brands.
Qantas never crashed.
Roy Morgan says the airline's trustworthy score has dropped 189 places since last September.
Can understand why some people don't want to fly Qantas.
Or commercial, full stop. Oil and gas company Santos is giving the national carrier a run for its money in the race for public outrage. Santos has just been sprung spending more than $5 million on a private jet for CEO Kevin Gallagher and the board. The company has justified the outlay by saying Santos's merger with Oil Search meant there was a lot more travel for important company business. Business like attending the Scotland versus Ireland rugby match to which Gallagher, who's Scottish, was recently invited.
That's not a sports scandal.
Wouldn't make the top 10 at West Coast. I'm Ben Harvey. For more update, click the subscribe button below.